Matteo Brunetti is our next guest. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
My Italian is far from being perfect, but I can sing in Italian.
You can sing in Italian. You are joking.
I guess we're gonna see. We're gonna see if it's true or not.
Okay.
I want to break the ice and let's.
Because I don't know very much Italian songs, so.
Well, this one you know, it's a Felicità.
Oh my God.
It's a classic.
It's a classic, but
everybody knows it. Let's just delve into it. So, Felicità.
No,
Come on.
I don't know the words.
Okay.
I know the funny version. It's Felicità, mangiarsi un bambino con dentro un panino. And this is like a totally
different version
from like school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about a kid that it's inside a toast,
mm-hmm.
and you eat the toast.
Okay.
So
let's give it a go. But I also need to see it, huh? Because I don't know.
We'll have the beat under that. So we're singing together.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how you break the ice at the beginning.
It's the first time I'm trying it. I have to try something new, you know?
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Felicità.
2, 4 or 2, 3?
It's a good start.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 4. Let's do it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Felicità. E tenersi per mano, andare lontano la felicità.
E tu guardi innocente in mezzo alla gente la felicità. E restare vicini come bambini la felicità.
Felicità. Felicità. I say we did pretty good.
Yeah, but for me it's like a fail. An Italian who doesn't know felicità and the text.
Come on, it's fine. I know the Spanish version, so I don't know if you watched
the Spanish version.
Have you watched La Casa de Papel?
I have watched it.
So Berlin, the character, he's singing the song, and it's called Felicità, but the lyrics is different. So it's Es un viaje lejano, mano con mano la felicità, and then tu mirada inocente entre la gente. So it's a similar, right? Tu mirar, like your innocent eyes
yeah.
between the people, right? So tu sguardo inocente in mezzo alla gente.
So yeah, sight.
So it's similar.
Yeah.
But I know the Spanish version, and I think, it's an Italian song, so I should know the Italian song. But
you don't have to know. I should know the Italian song, and but it's okay. I mean, it's okay to don't know, and this is very important
I like the sound
remember.
Of that. I like the sound of that. You see, my Italian is far from being perfect, and I'm aware of that. I'm also aware that I'm not a good singer. But perhaps we can move on and introduce you. Ambassador of Italian Cuisine and Traditions. This is the prompt that pops up when I Googled your name. And I was like, okay, this is nice. Like it's open. It doesn't label you as cook or as an influencer or as a writer, because you also write books.
Yes.
So I like that because it has the twist of Italian and ambassador.
Yeah, I felt like I had to defend the Italian culture and cuisine here in Poland, because it was like treated like some horrible stuff, and I think that my mission here is that to teach people the right recipes, the right traditions about Italy, but not only. In general, also to teach how to cook well, how to link different flavors, cuisines around the world. Of course, I'm Italian, so I'm more pointed into the Italian world. But what I love to do here is to teach people.
And that's what you definitely do. That's the feeling I have.
And the word ambassador came I think 4 or 5 years ago when I met the Italian ambassador here in Poland.
Actually.
Yeah. And he said, nice to meet you. And the first words he said were, I think you are the real, true ambassador here in Poland, because you talk non-stop about Italy, how to eat, where to travel, what are the the myths about Italy that are true or not, and stuff like that. So then I realized, okay, so if the ambassador is saying to me that I am the ambassador, then why not? Why don't label me?
It's big words because it has like this responsibility, but also I think it's a nice way of like naming someone, you know, like that you're in charge of teaching people and like showing them good stuff about Italy and bringing us closer to Italy. Even though I feel like Polish people are very much
open to Italy.
Yeah, but they're similar to Italians.
Yeah, they
in
are.
many ways. And we will be talking about this later on. But you know, I have a thing for Italians, and I have to start with this. I don't know what's up with you guys, but it's just like I always match with Italians. So I used to have a big group of Italian friends when I was living in Belgium. So che cazzo, all those things, like it's embedded in my brain.
The bad words.
All the bad words. Like my ex was Italian, and I traveled to Italy many times.
So what did he teach you about Italy?
Love, all the good stuff and bad stuff too.
Toxic relationships.
Yes, we've been there. We've been there definitely. But you see, Italy is sort of like it's in my life. It comes up very, very often. So professionally, for example, Stefano Terracino was my previous guest. He's Italian. I'm gonna have another guest of Italian descent. I'm not gonna say who it is.
No,
I cannot reveal
I have
the
to know.
names.
I have to know who it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you later off cameras who it is. I think you know.
But living here in Poland?
No, living in Italy.
Living in Italy.
But Polish Italian.
Polish
But
Italian.
not to say one words. So what I'm trying to say is that I sort of see this connection, at least from my side. And I did a research. I was like, okay, I cannot be the only one who likes Italians, you know, like there must be something about it. So I started reading, and there is this poll, this survey that pops up that they release it every year. It's called Attitude to Other Nationalities.
Okay.
And Italians always come up in the first 3 or 4, like top 5. It's always top 5.
I hope that this is a good attitude.
It's a good attitude.
Okay. Because, you know, Italians can be very euphoric, but only also very energetic and not always in a good way, you know?
So it was a good, like the positive attitude towards other nations. And in 2024, first were Americans. And I was like, what the actual...
Americans?
Yeah, I was so surprised. I don't know.
Why?
Can
I talk to the camera?
I'm not the biggest... Can I say it?
Fuck?
I'm not the biggest fan of Americans for some reason. This is overgeneralization, of course. But
why Americans? I don't know.
No,
Americans do love Italians. I mean, who doesn't? Maybe Japan people?
No, but it's us who love Americans. It's Polish attitudes.
It's Polish.
So I was like,
okay,
this is weird, huh? And the second place were Italians. Congrats, you made it on the list.
So because it's about Poland,
our attitudes towards other nations.
I can think about Polish people loving more America because of the past of Polish. And if you think about moda in Poland, at the beginning, it was like hoodies, Adidas stuff, Nike stuff. If you had that, like very streetwear, you were cool. And that was strictly from America.
Yeah.
At the same time, the cuisine was very American influenced. In the restaurants, the pizza was like Pizza Hut style, Chicago style, and stuff like that. It wasn't like Italian style pizza or Italian moda or all of that. So I think that this is why.
I mean, the impact of Americans is huge. I mean, on social media, we see American stuff all over the place, right?
I would say more China than America. On the social media, I see a lot of American influencers that copy or take influence from the Asian market, and then reproduce the same stuff there, and then Europe, Poland, Italy.
Reproduces it again. Partnerem podcastu jest Tutlo. Szkoła angielskiego online, która tak jak ja pomaga przełamywać bariery w mówieniu. So again, the polls. Americans, Italians, and then Slavic nations, so Czechs and Slovaks, which makes sense. We're similar,
yeah,
it's
close.
similar culture and all that. But why do Poles love Italians so much? Is it because is it about beautiful men and women and like stunning beaches, or
of course?
But is there more to it? Do you know what I mean? Like, why do you think Polish people love Italians so much?
I think that Polish people love Italy, Italians, and all that vibe that is around that, because it's totally different from the mindset and from what Polish people were living in the last 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
So here in Poland, it was everything gray, sad. Also about Polish people, everyone says that they are sad, that when a Polish man is smiling, it's like, it's not smiling.
It's an exception, yeah.
And Italy, it's like this heaven, colorful, beautiful people, well-dressed, amazing food, colorful food, architecture. We have everything in Italy in abundance. Thank you. And the interesting part is that we, as Italians, we can say that we don't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much that if we find an antique, I don't know, villa somewhere, we say, oh, another one.
Mm-hmm.
In other countries, it would be, oh my God, let's create an entire museum around that.
Mm-hmm.
And that.
So it's a different mindset, basically.
Yeah, it's a different mindset, and so we have like this. Przepraszam, ale I'm trying to reconnect to my English. So we are trying to. No, this is it. We are not trying to be Italian, to do something. We are just that. We love the slow life about Italy. The fact that we take a nap after lunch, and we all our life it's around food and chilling. And this is a totally different mindset from what we have in Poland. In Poland, we have a mindset like, I don't know, like in Milano or New York, that everyone wants to make a career.
Run and chase.
Yeah, chase. We don't know even what. Money, success. Yeah, we can say it's important because the world is based on money. But at the end, you start to miss your life, your real connection to yourself. And Italians don't even know about that they are so much connected together. They are connected to the nature because we have amazing mountains, hills, beaches, everything in abundance. And for us, it's normal. And when someone comes to Italy, they are like, how is it possible that they are so chill about everything? They just like don't care about everything, and at the same time they care about themselves. And this is what attracts people to Italy.
So the expression dolce far niente is not generalization. This is actually what Italians stick to.
Yeah, this is what Italians stick to, the dolce far niente, that I would say that it's also totally different from the famous La Dolce Vita.
So what's the difference? Perhaps we can elaborate. Dolce far niente is sweetness of doing nothing.
Yeah, and this is beautiful. Exactly.
Right? Just how it sounds. I mean, I don't want to,
Everyone loves sweets. So the sweetness of doing nothing in your life, but enjoying everything. So this is the connection. You are doing nothing and everything at the same time.
Wow.
So you wake up, you take your espresso, you eat that cornetto with crema and or Nutella or pistachio, everything, and then you go to work. It's not like, oh
so
my
it's
God.
balancing it out, trying to find the balance between work and doing nothing. That's how I see it, or perhaps not.
I would say that Italians are not very balanced. They love too much doing nothing. And that's why also we have a crisis that has like 30 years. But we love so much doing nothing that we are just okay about that. We sometimes complain, like Polish people, but we still do nothing, and it's okay.
In La Dolce Vita, what's the difference?
La Dolce Vita, I would say it was a period of time in Italy, like 40 years ago, even 50, when in Italy there was this huge economic boom, and La Dolce Vita was the sweet life, not the sweetness of doing nothing, but the sweet life, because everything was like gold. Everyone was prosperating, cities, jobs, everyone that was doing something, it was successful. And this what it's happening in Poland, like I would say from 10 years ago to now, that Poland is like booming.
Booming, yeah, we can also see that.
So La Dolce Vita, I would say it's dead.
So it's more of a prosperous life connected to more historian.
Yeah, exactly.
Historic era, as you said. And Dolce Far Niente is more like, the way
you feel that.
The way you feel about.
I would recommend to everyone in their life to at least try to live in Italy.
You know, it's on my bucket list. I'm going to show you my phone. I have 10 top things I want to do in my life. One of them is, I don't know, climb Mount Everest or do New Year's in Rio de Janeiro, my place on earth. And one of them is I'm going to show it to you later on, is to move to Italy, south of Italy, because there is also this, we have to distinguish.
That's what I wanted to say.
We will be distinguishing it later on, because there are differences. But I want to move to Italy without my phone.
Oh, without?
No, I don't need it. It's
That's
going to
brave.
be a quite task. Not for now. Now there is, I'm focusing on my career and all that. But once I have the financial means to do it, I want to move to the house, just live there and experience this life. As you say, why is it important to just move there, in your opinion? Because that was your advice.
Yeah,
why?
To move there and live at least 2-3 months, just to feel il dolce far niente, to know what is it about. That it's not only the place, the food, the air, but it's also people. You meet people, and everyone, it's like you feel that it's vibing with you from the beginning to the end. That you go to the first bar to take a coffee, and the barista is like, "Oh, here you are. You are already his friend," and this is it. Of course, if you go to cities like Rome, Milano, Firenze, Napoli, it's very chaotic, but still it lives there. Romans, I'm Roman. They are very stressed about traffic, holes on the roads. we just it's very stressful, like being 1.5 hour into the traffic, the bus that doesn't stop. It was shocking for me here in Poland, seeing that on the bus stations there are the time written, timetables in Rome. Timetables, what they are? Exist, no, you just have to wait and pray that the bus will
comes,
come. Yeah. So in these cities, it's more chaotic, but if it's the first time in Italy, I would totally recommend Rome, because it's the center of everything. The Roman Empire, everything is like condensed there. from.
But I think it's more difficult to experience this dolce far niente there. I went to Sardinia a couple of times, and I really did. I felt like I experienced that because it's the people.
It's the people.
Also, the mentality is different, right? Like even Poland, Warsaw, and then other small towns is different.
Yeah, in Sardinia, I remember I saw on Netflix that series about
Blue zones.
Blue zones,
Yes. But what was about it? It was the people, I think.
Was the people.
Yeah.
Was
you see, but that's the crucial part.
Yeah, the community. If you as everyone says, you are no, wait.
You're part of a group. That's what you're trying to say?
No. I'm trying to say that you became the person. No, aspetta.
Wait.
Sei la persona.
Oh, it's an Italian
Italian, English, it doesn't
expression.
matter. You became the you became the person you are with. So if you are with chilled people, you start to be more chilled. So if the community is chilled, it's relaxed, slow life, eat bio green stuff that the neighbor is cultivating.
You get accustomed, you become like them, sort of in a way.
Exactly.
You take their traditions, their values.
You want to become a businessman, you have to be in the businessman niche.
Yeah, but it's natural, right? Like we have to feel this sense of belonging. We have to, we're part of a group, we're animals at the end of the day. We have to feel like we belong.
Exactly.
And I'm really looking forward to moving there one day just to.
Sicily, maybe Puglia. I think these are the best destinations because there, Italy, it's still like
raw, like
untouched.
Untouched.
There is still plenty of mafia, of course, but
it's not so touristy, perhaps.
Yeah, no, it's still touristic, but it's not like Naples, Rome, Milano. You just go there and feel the earth, the flavor of the wind. You can literally taste that. And in Rome, you can't. You feel the smog. So.
Really? Never been to Rome, but I can imagine what it's like. I've been to Milano. And,
scooters everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere, literally everywhere.
Yeah, I went once in Saigon, and I thought that Naples and Rome were like the top of smog with scooters, and I couldn't believe that Saigon, Vietnam, was so much more than that what I experienced in Italy.
I want to focus on people and more like how we see ourselves, how we perceive our actions, how we behave. So I do feel like it's very hard for us, for Polish people, to be spontaneous, to live in the moment. And it's a question I have for you. I have for myself. I ask it myself every day. I wake up and I'm like, why is it so hard to live in a moment? And then I have you as my guest. And I'm like, is it different? Like, do you view it differently? Like, it's less organized, right? Like, you can be more spontaneous. Do you also see it? Or is it just my imagination going on right now? Because it relates to this dolce far niente, I feel like, also in a way, right? Like how you view things. Like you can take siesta, for example, right? Yeah. You take a break and then you recharge your batteries, right? You're more chilled. We don't have that here. We constantly need to run, chase, what, as you said.
Yeah, it's living here and now. It's the only place and time that we can live. We can't live in the past. We can't live in the future. We can project ourselves in the future, but still we are projecting ourselves here and now. So you can't escape from now. This is the cage of our existence. The 4 dimensions of our life. So the fact that Italian people are more here and now, they enjoy the moment, is because they don't project themselves as far away from now. Of course, we make plans, but not as much as, for example, Polish people. I see people here in Poland buying a ticket for a flight 1.5 years.
That's what I would do probably.
And for me, it's like, oh my God, this is stressful, for me. I would more do like, hey,
let's do some spontaneous trip. Let's go.
Exactly. From now to 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe a month, but not 1 year. So you are already planning all your life, and you are not giving yourself the space to live your life here. Okay, it's planned. It's okay. It's good to have a plan, of course, because you have to choose a road where to go. But still, if there is something unplanned, you have to go with that. You have to.
I feel like that's problematic. You see that if something unplanned comes up, we're like terrified. We don't know what to do.
Yeah. Oh my God, the plan was totally different. What I have to do now?
Yeah.
You don't have to force the wind. You have to go with the wind. You have to, like Bruce Lee said once, you have to be water. Be water, my friend. So the water, the shape of the water is the shape of the container that it's in it. Of course, a physician would say, no, it's round, it's H2O and stuff like that. But
you have to flow.
You have to flow.
I'm going to show you something. I already showed it before, but it's
a tattoo.
Did you see it?
No.
Okay. It's a tattoo that I have, and it's a stick on a wave. And sticks never drown. They always float on the surface of the water. But water...
It depends on the material.
True.
So if you are a heavy person, like that, you are heavy for yourself, you're going to draw.
But you see what I mean? Like, analogy is that we float, we don't drown. And the waves are ups and downs of life. They can be big waves or small waves. But you always sort of float. And that's my reminder of like maybe I can just slow down and just enjoy the moment. It's difficult. I think it's, I'm struggling with that. But
to go with the flow?
Yeah, but I'm on the right way. It's a learning curve. You have to learn. For you, maybe it's natural.
It depends.
More natural.
I think it's always a step to take. It's every day we take a step forward to be always the best version of ourselves. But even if we think that we are going
the opposite direction,
the opposite direction, still we are going forward. Because what I think is that every person in every moment in their life, in every second, it's always the best version of himself, herself. Always. Otherwise, you would be someone else or something else. The same, every decision that you take, whatever decision you are taking, it's always the best one. Otherwise, you would take a different one. The decision you are taking, it's always the right one. So even if you are thinking that you are not on the flow, you are going there because you are in your flow. You just have to find what is right for you. And you have to take that decision to want or don't want to go with the flow.
And perhaps don't care about what other people think, because that's problematic. Because we usually, in us Poles, we do it very often that we make decision based on what other people would think. An example from one of your interviews with Katarzyna Miller, right? When she was mentioning that in one of the villages they built homes, and who has the highest, the biggest, the nicest home, it's sort of like a status, like a privilege, like within a society. I also see it that way. I see the connection that we do things based on what other people would think of us, which is problematic.
It is. It is problematic. And because then you are not living for yourself. You are living for the other people. You want to impress the other, but why you want to impress the other and not yourself? Impress yourself. This is the
core,
the difficult part. Impress yourself. How would you impress yourself and not the others? When you are impressed about yourself, then you have endorphins, dopamine, everything to the skyrockets, because you are then joyful about your life and what you are doing. So
it's also about getting to know yourself, I feel like.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, yes, we make decisions and we see what makes us happiest or not so happy about this, the consequences, the result of it, the outcome of a decision. And then the logic would say that you should make more decisions that make you happy. And it's simple, but we don't do it.
It's not as much simple because
on paper, like it's simple theoretically. But practically, in practice,
the only way to know yourself better is to put yourself in different situations.
In uncomfortable situations.
Exactly. And this is not comfortable.
Yeah.
So why should I put myself in a situation that it's not mine just to know myself? But if you don't do that, you don't know if it's gonna work for yourself. So you have to be brave in your life for yourself always. It's not about being selfish.
No, I don't see it that way.
It's about knowing better yourself so that you can be a better person for the others and attract to yourself people that resonates more with you and don't waste the most precious things in the world, so your time. You have only this time and not more.
You mentioned something really interesting and something that I really agree with is that if you're true to yourself, to your inner self, then people can feel the energy in the room, right? And you attract a certain type of people.
Yeah.
So this is it.
Because you attract this kind of people because you start to avoid all the others. So
it's like selection
Exactly.
comes into place. Natural selection.
Natural.
From a biological point of view,
Yeah.
I mean, it has explanation. And now from societal point of view, it's also happening, right? That you get to decide whom I want to hang out with, who I want to see.
It's like toxic relationships. There are toxic relationships because both the person of the people have some traumas, not unresolved. So then they create this toxicity. If they don't work on that, the toxicity remains. When they work on that, then they can realize what they did well or wrong and decide with all the sincerity they have if it has sense or not. But then they know why. Otherwise, you are just fighting and relationships, friendship, politics, everything.
Fighting against yourself also.
Yeah.
And it has a bigger...
Yeah, you don't have to fight about yourself. This is the
idea.
important thing.
Yeah.
Because if you fight with yourself, you are fighting with all the others. So how to don't fight with yourself? You have to understand what you really want. You have to stand in front of the mirror and saying, Matteo, who you are, what do you want, and tell to yourself and to the others what you want. Because sometimes we are afraid of what we really are passionate about, what we want, because we are afraid of the opinion that someone will judge us. But if that person will judge us, it means that it's not the right person for us.
And perhaps he's judging or she's judging us based on her perceptions, right?
Exactly.
So it might not necessarily be true. It's just their... there was one word you used, the not perception, but the well, I'm lost. But yeah, their perception of how they see themselves in a society. That doesn't mean that it's you.
Yeah,
Perhaps
of course.
Nothing is wrong with you. It's just what they say, and their words have impact on your self-esteem, on your confidence, and it goes down.
Everything has impact on us. Even this table can have an impact on us.
Yeah.
Right now, it's part of the experience.
It is. So
it's getting really deep.
no, but I like that. I had a different plan for you. I was gonna talk about Italy, but I mean, this is perhaps what people ask you a lot of the times. We're gonna also be focusing on that. But I do see some depth in you, and the fact that you had your own podcast, which I found out about like 2 days ago, where you discuss important issues. It's really, really, really interesting, and we'll be delving into that at the end, so people can wait a bit longer. But let's a bit more about Italy. So the dolce far niente and everything, right? Like the mindset.
Sì, bella gente. Dai,
Italian
su.
siesta. I also didn't know about that. I thought it was a Spanish invention, and then I did some research. And you guys do take breaks from like 1 to 2 or 3 or 4 p.m. even.
To 4 p.m. sometimes.
And what, you go home,
4:30.
you eat pasta, and then you come back
Yeah,
to
exactly.
work? That's how it works?
That's how it
This is the difference of mindsets. Like,
I mean, in Spanish people, they have a word for that, siesta.
there's not a word for that in Italian.
In Italy, we don't have. We just go home, cook some pasta, or Italians. They love their mom, so they go to mom's home or grandma, and they eat all together. They celebrate.
It's also about the celebration. It's not just the food.
Exactly. You celebrate. You have this celebration about food, some pasta, some salad, some I don't know, chicken in breadcrumbs or trippa alla romana, everything, and all Italy just stops from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. More or less. Everything, all the shops, the stores close, and we just chill. And this is what we have the crisis in Italy, because we have the breakfast, then we have a second breakfast like 11:30, then we have the siesta 1 p.m. 4 p.m.
Crazy.
Then we have aperitivo from like 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. just to wake up more of the hunger.
And how do you link it to crisis?
We just eat all the day. We don't do nothing more. We just love so much to chill, eat, and drink wine, aperitivos, and stuff like that. That who wants to work then?
Worry about politics and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's why we have so many.
The question then comes, is it selfish though? Because if you do that, I mean, this might be controversial what I say, but if you do that, you focus on you, on your needs, on your well-being, which is fine. But at the end of the day, we're also part of society. No?
Yeah, I mean, all the Italian society is in crisis, but everyone is being selfish, but at the same time happy. So if everyone is happy, then all the others also are happy.
An interesting correlation I see,
It's like, how you say?
Vicious circle.
Yeah, a vicious circle that is driving us down, but with a smile.
The culture of food, of eating, there is this one phrase that I found, less is more. And I find a lot of truth in it. So, for example, the first thing that comes to mind is spaghetti aglio,
olio, e peperoncino.
But this is it. It has 4 ingredients, 5 tops.
I mean, it depends if you take olive as an ingredient.
Yeah, but it's 5, 6. Yeah, it's this. It's very
olio,
simple.
peperoncino, parsley, and pasta.
So with something simple, you create something truly delicious.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's what I try to teach Polish people through my social medias, that
you can make simple dishes.
Yeah, you can make amazing dishes, legendary dishes that are famous in all the world with just a few ingredients. If you have good Parmigiano Reggiano, you have eggs, guanciale, some pepper, you have carbonara, pecorino romano, sorry. You have aglio, olio, peperoncino, some parsley, you have an amazing dish. So it's all about the ingredients. Less, it's more, less with quality.
This is important, yeah.
If you are not using 10, 15 ingredients, then the few that you have
are pretty good, huh?
Yeah, you have to buy pretty good, because you can find really some bad shit here, very commercial pastas or some unauthentic cheeses.
But this simplicity is linked to this laid back chill also mindset. I feel like I see the connection. You see that, like, okay, I have 5 ingredients, good quality, so I'm gonna make this dish simple yet effective.
Yeah, it's
That's how I
it's
see
like
it.
the caprese salad.
Mm-hmm.
You have mozzarella, tomato, basil, olive oil, some salt, and that's it. If you have great mozzarella di bufala from that granny that makes it in her home with her hands, and it's totally different. But
how much love put into it, no?
Exactly. But the problem is that this kind of ingredients, mostly, you find them only in Italy. Because in Italy we have all this diversification, geographic diversification, cultural diversification. So in every region of Italy, you find different ingredients, different dishes. In every city of that region, you find even more differences. So it's like a never-ending love story, and it's beautiful.
Let's delve deeper into the food. I don't want to stop with food. I love food. I love Italian food. So let's do that. Quote of yours. Niekoniecznie każdy Włoch potrafi gotować, ale każdy lubi jeść. I was shocked. I thought all the Italians are born with, like, you know, aprons, and then they just have this skill ever since they're obviously this is a joke.
I don't remember when I wrote that.
But my question is, it was one of the interviews, but my question is, have you ever had a bad meal at Italian's home? Is it even possible? Like,
home.
You know, when Nonna cooks
never,
for you, right?
Never.
So it's
at home, never.
Yeah, but I mean, not your home, like any home.
Yeah, any home.
Right?
At my friend's house or grandma of someone. I have never had a
You know how many bad meals I've had at Polish homes? I mean, not at my grandma's. Nonna, I love you. But this is it.
It's very hard to find some bad food in a home in Italy. Maybe in a student's home you can find it.
That's another
but
story.
But not always, because I remember when I was a student and we were meeting with my friends at the closest home of one of them, and still we were cooking. I remember the very famous PPP, so pasta, pesto, pancetta. So we both the ready pesto, basil pesto, and put into that some fried pancetta. It was amazing. It was
again simple, but amazing.
Simple. The most famous student Italian dish, it's pasta with
pesto, probably.
No, with tomato sauce, passata, and tuna, canned tuna, not fresh, because you can't afford that.
Yeah, obviously.
And this is the most famous student dish, and it's still good.
How to become a real Italian nonna? Is it possible? Because you write the books about the recipes, like
this
that's
is a
the
good
title.
question.
But I do feel like it's ingrained in Italians to have this drill to cook. So can you become a real nonna? Because, you know, in Poland we also say nie ma to jak u babci, nie ma to jak u mamy. At my home we would say nie ma to jak u babci.
Yeah.
Because babcia knows how to cook, you know?
Yeah.
But can you learn those skills? Obviously, I mean, it's a rhetorical question. Obviously you can. But there is an extra flavor to it in case of Italian grandmas, isn't it? Like, it's a national treasure.
I would say that the flavor is like olive oil. Like liters and liters of that.
Yeah.
And this is the grandma touch. But it's the love to cook for someone that you love, that you care. When you are, I think, old, you know that your end is coming. You know, you know that, and then what you can do when someone is coming to you,
make other people happy.
Make other people happy. Yeah, make great food, as great as you can do, and this is it. And it doesn't care if it has like 2,000 calories, but it has to be good.
You're half Polish, half Italian, and I came across one of the statements that was really interesting, and I want to get into that. It's not about gastronomy anymore, but you said, I could move anywhere, but not to Poland. And yet, here you are. It's been 6-7 years.
I don't know how it happens.
What were the biggest cultural shocks you've experienced when you moved here? Can it be from gastronomy point of view? And do you still experience them now? Because from I don't want to delve too much into what I've experienced, but I've experienced tons of cultural shocks. Like, what the hell am I doing here? That's why I came back also, because I was like, even though I'm open-minded and, still for me, this was a game changer. And I really appreciate like Polish ways of doing things. But for you, have you experienced any cultural shocks when you came here for the first time?
Yeah, you said that you didn't want to go into the food thematics anymore, but
Let's do
still it was.
We have to talk about
it. Was very traumatic for me moving to Poland and try to make groceries at home. I was feeling like a lost child in the supermarkets with tons of food that I didn't know. And I moved here like 8 years ago, and there were not any kind of Italian week or stuff like that. There were just a few Italian groceries in Warsaw, and there were not too many importers and online shops.
Now we can see more of that.
Yeah, now it's you can just Google, for example, guanciale, and you can order 1.5 kilo of guanciale at home, and that's amazing. But that was a true shock for me. I was used to go to the supermarket in Italy, and in every supermarket, even the worst one, you have the bakery that makes all kinds of bread and stuff like that. The how you say wędliny, hams and all the meat stuff, and also cheeses and stuff like that. And I was used to go there and ask, I don't know, 0.5 kilo of that, 200 grams of that. Here in Poland, it's all packed, all this szynkas, kabanosy and stuff like that. I was, what I'm doing here? I will never eat again like in Italy.
But you find your way around it. It's been some time. And
I found myself with time much better just because Poland adapted to that along with myself. Just Poland became more open to Italian products, not only cuisine. But also another shock that I had was with people. It was very difficult to make contact with people. They were, and still are, Polish people, very cold. I don't know.
It's a nice smooth transition, because now I want to talk about that.
Okay.
We're going to be delving into that, because these are the topics also you discuss in your podcasts, about those differences and about like that we view things differently than you guys. And the first thing that comes to my mind, we're going to be talking about this, is the way we greet.
Greet? Yeah.
So what we did today, we gave each other handshakes.
Yeah.
And when I was living abroad, I was kissing everybody, whether it's a guy, whether it's a girl, it doesn't matter. Here, I'm again sticking to Polish like traditions and all that. So let's talk about greetings, right? French, kiss 3 times, I think.
I think too.
Italians 2 times. Belgian, only 1 cheek. Polish, handshake. Very firm.
Yeah. Sometimes in Poland, I do the double handshake. I would call it, so handshake? That if you give me your, I just do that. Yeah, and it always shocks people. It's like, what is happening? Like 1 hand too much.
But what's up with the greetings? Well, why do you think this is the case? Because it has probably a lot of explanations. But what I'm trying to say is that this is the reason why we're so cold. I feel like it's one of the things.
Yeah, you make
it's one of the
immediately
you put up the barrier.
Yeah. I think it's because Poland for a very, very long time was a cold country. Still it is, but not as much as before. And because of that, most of the people spend their time in homes. So if they meet with someone, it was still at home. At home, drinking some vodka and stuff like that. And it wasn't like meeting someone on the street because it's an amazing weather. Oh, hello! It's so everything positive, colorful. Let's hang out here. It was always at home. So at home, you are between four walls, and that's it. In Italy, it was always hot and beautiful. So people just undress, I would say, and they are happy to hug you. And I think that this is the reason. And I hope it will change with time because it's getting hotter. So it's not good, but at the same time, maybe Poland will be a second Italy. Kiedyś.
Could be.
Who knows? And sometimes when I moved to Poland, at the beginning, I was greeting people as an Italian. So with the
How did they react?
It was like, what is happening? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And the also funny part is that someone here in Poland greets you with a kiss, but it's always like on the left that you move.
And then Italians do the right.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just meet in the middle and you kiss in the lips.
Exactly. In Italy, we do right and left. In Poland, they do left, and that's all.
Yeah.
In the best case.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now with, of course, my friends, I greet with a kiss sometimes too. Sometimes they greet with one kiss, and then I say, "Come on, some more Italian vibe."
Yeah. You see, you gave a nice explanation, like culture, atmosphere, whatever. I agree with that. But the consequences it has, it's a different story.
It's huge.
You can have a reason why something is the way it is, but then there is consequences. So, for example, if I would see, not me, but if a Polish person would see a guy and a guy kissing with a chick, immediately what they think, he might be gay, you know? And then the same applies to girls. I mean, girls hug each other, so it's more open, I would say, but that's just weird. Like in Italy, there is no this sexual connotation, right? When you kiss a guy on a cheek.
There is no sexual connotation, and we kiss everyone. But I would say it's something more from the younger generation, this kissing, from like the generation of my brother. He's like 40 now. So millennials, I would say. Older generations, like my father and my grandfather, they were a little bit more cooler. Yeah. Still hugging and stuff like that. But the kissing, not so much. But I would say that now Italy, it's all about kissing
and loving.
Exactly. So come to Italy.
In Poland, you need to address each other, sir, madam. Proszę pani, proszę pana. And it's, again, I do it too, because it's formal, right? When I see an elderly person on the bus, I'm going to say, proszę pani, proszę pana. But if I see someone who's in their 40s, I'm not going to say proszę pani, proszę pana, because I'm used to something else. I'm used to different lifestyle. But here in Poland, we still have it that if you call someone, if you don't call somebody sir or madam, you might come across as impolite. Do you agree with that?
Yes. And what I do always in that cases, I try to be polite, but the next few words are, can I talk to you as you, not as...
So you ask them for the...
immediately, because I like to be like more
You're
connected.
More comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. But I saw a different unpolite behavior that I had towards Polish people.
What was it?
And it was in a larger meeting. In Poland, you give the hand first to the woman.
Yes.
And then to men.
Yes.
In Italy, always from the right to the left.
So the gender doesn't matter.
The gender doesn't matter.
Mhm.
I don't know why, but sometimes it's really weird. I always have to remind to myself, in Poland, first to woman, then to man. In Italy, you just don't care. You just, everyone is equal. Like,
It's interesting, right? Because in Poland, you come across as a gentleman. Like if you
Mhm.
kiss or if you greet woman first, and usually I think the oldest or the youngest, I don't know. But there's also this difference. And then you come across as gentleman. If you don't do it, it's lack of respect. I don't see it that way. I see everybody as equal.
Mhm.
And if we're trying to be equal, then we should perhaps maybe change those
Exactly.
these actions as well. No,
Mm.
I mean that's what I.
So
I'm
for the
thinking.
people that are listening
Yes.
from Poland, be aware that Italians just greet like that. And for all the people around the world, remember that when you are in Poland, first hand to the ladies and then to the boys.
Another one. And I'm going to read it in Polish because it's one of the quotes also from your interviews with Katarzyna Miller. Społeczeństwo mówi nam, masz być taki sam jak wszyscy, ale każdy jest inny
Mhm.
i chce być zauważany i doceniany jako ten inny i chce być ważny. Let that sink in.
Mhm.
There's a problem with this, especially in Poland where there's pressure to conform.
Yeah.
Right? The individuality, not so much.
Yeah, when someone is
Different.
seeing as different, it's like what you are doing, why you are not as everyone else, why you don't stick with the community.
Mhm.
This is changing, and I would thank that to all social media that are opening the world
Mhm.
about having about being unique, and at the same time finding the same people as you around the world. But Poland is very tough about that. Sometimes even even if Polish people loves Italians, sometimes I find some hate towards me that what you are doing here in Poland. Why are you teaching Polish people Italian behaviors? We
Mhm.
have our behaviors. Go back to Italy.
Mm.
And for me, it's like you don't have to learn if you don't want. Just
Choose not to.
it's not for you.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think about that. What brings that person to think like that and to
It's
behave?
insecurities, perhaps.
Probably yes, but if one person thinks like that, there are other 1,000 that do the same. And
there is pressure of group. Sorry to interrupt. So if one person thinks like that and he's going to tell you this, then perhaps another person starts thinking like that.
Exactly. And this is very, very obecne. Very present in Poland. Now that when you asked the question, I thought about it in seeing that from the perspective of an Italian living like 27 years in Italy. I wasn't expecting that ever that someone would comment with those words. Because for me, in Italy, we are very open. Of course, also we have some fights, politics, church. Not everyone is open in Italy, but still much more than Poland. So when I started also my podcast a few years ago, I wanted to create a safe place where every thought is acceptable. Every thought has its place and it's safe in that environment. No matter what will be the critics, the audience, and
but
stuff
you can
like
speak
that.
freely of
Exactly.
what you feel like. Yeah.
And I think that that was a little bit problematic in Poland in general. Also, when
the comments you received, or
the comments, also the thematics that with my
Guests?
with my guest and also the second host,
Mhm.
when we wanted to make a challenge and talk about some more difficult thematics, Polish thematics,
Mhm.
we had always to think twice about that.
You need to watch out.
Yeah,
What are you gonna say?
because of course I'm a public person. He was a journalist, so still we had to watch out, you know,
Mhm.
and it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be. So
No.
it's a little bit sad, but also we were trying to open as much as we can. So talking about LGBT thematics, church, um, how you say, suicides,
Mhm.
sexuality,
Mhm. You see,
psychology,
I find this
everything.
contrast really interesting. Is that on one hand we're heading towards the road to be more inclusive and like freedom of speech and all that, and then you need to watch out. So this is a bit contradictory.
It is. And I think that you just need to make little steps, that you can't be a bird in an ocean.
Mhm.
You have to first learn to swim, then you can develop some wings, and then you can fly. Now there are some fishes that do that, and I think this is the perfect example
Mm.
that not always the ocean is it's ready for that.
Mm.
So you have to introduce, like you introduce to someone. You don't say to a random person, "Let's go drift with the car." Who the hell are you? Hello, I'm this and this. I do that and that. I don't know.
So slowly, step by step,
Step by
introducing new
step.
ideas and new
Yeah, because
thoughts.
people are very, they stick as we talked before, they stick to themselves, to their behaviors, to their routine. So not always they are happy to receive some new inputs from outside.
Mhm.
So you have first to show them what is it about, and then step by step do that.
Go ahead. No, no, no.
I mean, because someone would say no. Sometimes you have just to go straight from the bridge, like walnąć to, and you have it. Sometimes yes, but I
Some
don't
other
feel,
things need
yeah,
more time. So
I think Poland just needs time.
hopefully we're on the right road towards that.
We
I
are.
think we are. The last bit I want to discuss, and it's an interesting one because, again, I see many similarities between Italians and Polish in that regard, is the religion.
I would say no.
Church in general, but no. So listen.
That's going to be a funny question.
So listen, we're both Catholic, very much. You can see it if you look at stats. I think Poles is like around 90-ish.
I would say 99.9%.
It seems like it, right? Sometimes, yeah. But then Italians is a bit less, but still it's a high percentage. But it's different, meaning here I feel like church is way more intertwined with politics, with culture, with people, with how you should view things, certain ideology, right? And in Italy, there is a separation. Do you also see it as a person who lived there and now lives here? This
in Italy,
duality.
In Italy, we have a constitutional separation. So it's written, and it has to be like that. Sometimes the church says something about the politics, and the politics just say,
not your business.
Not your business, do your own stuff. Of course, we don't know what is happening behind the scenes, but it's written. Unfortunately, Poland tries to be more holy than the Vatican itself. And this is very painful to watch because some thematics needs to be not linked together. Church, it's church. Politics, it's politics, and it doesn't stick together.
It doesn't mix, doesn't go together. No,
it shouldn't. but it does here.
Partnerem podcastu jest Tutlo, szkoła angielskiego online, która tak jak ja pomaga przełamywać bariery w mówieniu. It's interesting how, as you said, Vatican, right? Like Italy, like Vatican is within Italy, right? So geographically it's so close, yet there's this difference.
Yeah, it's a
So
state
you could
in a
say
state.
it's the other way around, right? Like you have more connections like Vatican City, Italy, but here, geographically, we're like way further, but we stick to it.
It's like glued. Glued? It's the right...
It's very much glued.
Yeah.
It's the double layer of glue. That's what it is, or triple layer of glue.
And I don't know if there is much more to say about that. Just in Italy, of course, there are Catholics, and we have the Vatican, we have the Pope. It's a very representative person in the world and has a lot of impact on that.
Also respect, right?
Also respect, but talking about the politics, so it doesn't stick together, and it don't stick together, and it's written in the constitution. Then, as I said, what happens behind, how much the church puts their hand in all the stuff that happens in Italy, that's a different story.
Because I do see some similarities too, right? Like Italian is becoming conservative also, and even same-sex marriage, it's not accepted in Italy, which I found out yesterday. I was like, fuck, I thought it was the case, but it's not.
Yeah.
So we can still see these similarities, but to a lesser degree, to a lesser extent than in Poland, I think. Yeah,
yes,
that's it. That's it. No, that's it. But I'm not trying here, you see, to talk about like the differences. It's more like the consequences it has on people and on society and how we view things.
The consequences are that I have friends that started to live in London and get married there, having a gay marriage, because in Italy it wasn't possible. They have also a child adopted, and it's possible. Not as I don't know if in Italy now it's something changed.
No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't. Because lately there were some
now with
stuff happening.
Georgia Meloni.
Yeah, Meloni.
But let's not delve into that, because I could talk hours about her. But we need to also respect all the viewers, and
of
it's
course.
an open space, and obviously we can talk about that. But also be aware that people have different views, which is totally fine. But it's this understanding, right? That people have different views, and I feel like here in Poland it's just not
acceptable.
Not accepted. Like you can't have different views. You need to have this one view.
Yeah.
Now it's changing, obviously.
It's changing, and it's always who you stick with.
This is it, right? What we discussed at the beginning. It's the finding the group and really feeling the sense of belonging.
Yeah, when you are in the right group, then you start to feel like all the world is changing with you. So it's very important.
Look, I want to end on a positive note. So let's talk about affirmations. Do you believe in power of practicing affirmations?
I strongly believe in the power of the affirmation.
Why?
Because
what's so magical about them? Or it's not magical. Maybe it's just a real thing. Because we see affirmations as something like invented, but we talked it off cameras that it's scientifically proven that affirmations are real.
Affirmation, it's totally real. Some people say that this is quantum physics. Someone says that this is religion. Someone meditation, and it has very a lot of words, but everyone is going to the same direction. When you pray for something, you are just affirming that. And for me, the affirmation has like a very significant and physical touch almost. That a thought that I have, it exists.
It's materialistic.
It's materialistic. When I think about something, it exists in time and space. Right now, I'm thinking about something. So if I think about something, it exists as a thought and can be also real. Because as much as the thought is real, also the reality around us it is. Can I put a dot here or?
Very much, because this is it, right? I mean, it is the power of it, but at the end of the day, it also has the consequences of how we view ourselves and how we view others, and especially ourselves. And I've seen it like in my case. I was dreaming of having certain guests, and here they are. You're one of them. Other people that also came to they paid a visit. They also came, and it's just these things. For me now, it's more professional, I guess, because that's how that's where my stage where I'm at. But man, this is real. Like, let's just abolish all those myths about affirmation.
What you think now, it's always now, but you are already building your future. And the affirmation, it doesn't mean that you have to think only about materialistic stuff. Like I want to be a millionaire, I want to create a business, I want a car, or the best cheese in the world.
It's also about inner self and what you want to.
How you think about yourself, it's how you are creating yourself.
And the reality around it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is very, very important. What you think in every second of your life.
Matteo, we're going to be wrapping up. I always ask for a piece of advice in the end, in case you want to share. I think this sums up pretty well with the affirmation, with the positive note. But if there's anything else you want to add for listeners, apart from your recommendation, which is moving to Italy and living there for 3 months, I'm taking it here and very seriously. But if there is anything else to wrap up, the floor is yours.
I would say that everything that you do and everything that happens to you, it always has a meaning. Not always it has to have a huge meaning, but it will serve you somehow in the future, whatever it is.
I like that. Thank you so much for coming. Mama.